All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're diving into the philosophy of Luciferianism, specifically as it's laid out in Michael W. Ford's Apotheosis. Now, it's really important to note this isn't about what you might think. We're looking at a framework for self-development, a philosophy that's rooted in what's called the left-hand path.
And this quote from the book really sets the stage for everything we're about to cover. To become your own God. I mean, wow. Right away, you can see this isn't a passive philosophy. It's all about radical self-sovereignty, taking complete and total personal accountability for your life. It's a huge responsibility.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll touch on what Luciferianism actually is. Then we'll look at the path to what's called apotheosis, dive into the 4 foundational pillars, compare the victim versus conqueror mindset, explore the balance of darkness and light, and we'll wrap up with the ultimate responsibility it all points to.
Okay, first things first. What exactly is Luciferianism? Well, according to the book, it's a philosophy that's part of the left-hand path. And really, to get a handle on this, you've got to understand what that term even means.
And the book draws a really clear line in the sand. Think of it this way. What it calls the right-hand path, which it associates with many mainstream religions, is often about surrendering your ego, dissolving the self to merge with God or the universe. The left-hand path? It's the complete opposite. It's all about strengthening and holding on to your individual self, making your own consciousness the final authority. You are the ultimate decider. So, if that's the path, how do you actually walk it? Well, the book lays out a very specific 3-stage journey called the Triad of the Morning Star. This isn't just wandering around aimlessly. It's a structured process, and it's all leading to one ultimate goal: apotheosis. And these are the 3 steps. You start with liberation. That's all about breaking free from mental chains, from dogma or any beliefs that hold you back. Once you're free, you move into illumination, which is where you actively seek out knowledge and wisdom to build yourself up. And all of that leads to apotheosis, which is this state of becoming the master of your own reality through constant self-improvement and achievement. Yeah, and I love the symbolism here. You see that broken chain? That's liberation. It's that moment where you consciously decide, nope, I'm not going to be held back by ideas or beliefs that I didn't choose for myself. This is the point, according to the book, where you take 100% ownership of your life. The good, the bad, it's all on you now.
And of course, that flows right into illumination, which is perfectly symbolized by the torch. I mean, once you've broken the chains, you need some light to see where you're going, right? That light is knowledge, it's wisdom, it's insight. It's basically all the tools you need to go out and actively build the life you actually want.
Which brings us to the destination, apotheosis. But, and this is so crucial, the book makes it clear that this isn't some finish line you cross and then you get a trophy. It's a continual state. It's the ongoing process of using your liberation and your illumination to constantly become a better, more powerful version of yourself. It's a verb, not a noun.
Okay, so if that's the journey, what's the actual toolkit you use to get there? Well, the entire philosophy rests on what the author calls the 4 foundational pillars. This is the real how-to part.
And this chart from the book lays them out beautifully. You've got power, balance, strength, and wisdom. I like to think of them as the 4 legs of a table. You take one away, and the whole thing just collapses. They all have to work together. So let's quickly break these down. When it talks about power, it's not talking about power over other people. It's about your own intellect, your own inner authority. Then there's balance, and this one is arguably the most important. It's that sweet spot between your primal urges and your rational, thinking mind. Strength is all about that inner grit, the courage to have some self-respect and discipline. And finally, wisdom isn't just about book smarts. It's the real-world insight you get from actually facing challenges and learning from them.
So, how does all the stuff, these pillars, actually show up in your day-to-day life? Well, the book presents a really stark contrast between 2 completely different ways of thinking, what it calls the victim mindset and the conqueror mindset.
And the difference is night and day. On one side, you have the victim mentality, always complaining, always blaming someone else when things go wrong. The book calls this a sheep mentality. On the other side, you have the conqueror. This person sees a problem not as an excuse, but as a challenge to be solved with strategy. They're focused on evolving, on getting better. And according to this text, that is the essential Luciferian way of thinking.
This brings us to a really crucial idea. I'd say it's probably the most central concept in the whole philosophy, and it's definitely the most misunderstood. We're talking about balance, specifically the balance between what the book calls darkness and light.
Okay, now let's be super clear about this. When the text talks about darkness, it is not talking about evil. Not at all. Think of darkness as your primal self, your instincts, your desires, your passions, your raw emotions. It's the powerful engine inside you. It's the source of your drive and your ambition. And on the flip side, you have light. This is your intellect, your ability to reason, to use logic, to plan, to have self-control. So if darkness is the powerful engine of your car, light is the steering wheel, the gas pedal, and the brake. It's the part of you that directs all that raw power. And this image just says it all, doesn't it? The goal isn't for light to conquer darkness. It's not about getting rid of your instincts. It's about putting them in harmony. It's about creating a powerful unity. True strength, according to this philosophy, comes when you take the raw, primal energy of your dark side and channel it intelligently with your light side. A powerful engine is useless without a skilled driver, and a skilled driver is going nowhere without an engine.
So, when you take this whole journey through liberation, gaining illumination, and finding that perfect balance, it all leads to one massive, unavoidable conclusion. The book calls it the ultimate responsibility.
And this is it. This is the absolute core of the entire philosophy. It's all about total, 100% personal accountability. In this way of thinking, there's no God to thank when you succeed, and there's no devil to blame when you fail. Every single choice, every victory, every screw-up, it's all on you. You are, for all intents and purposes, the God of your own life.
And that's really where this whole explainer leaves us, with this one powerful, provocative question that just sums everything up. If you really truly accept that you are the sole architect of your life, that you hold the blueprints, you have the tools, and you carry all of the responsibility, then what does that empower you to build?